Hello. Okay, we're going to dip into Freemasonry and how the Rothschilds play a role in the influence right up to today. So let us begin. These are some of the handshakes of Freemasonry. These are the more common ones right here. This, not so much. You have to kind of look like E.T. It'd be very weird, very telling. So they don't really do that a whole lot. Okay. What we're doing here is we're going over to the 1611 King James Bible. Now, most people are familiar, well, everyone's familiar with the King James Bible, of course, but lesser known, and as you can see, DuckDuckGo, this is not some secret knowledge. It's all there if you look. This Bible, 1611 King James Version, was put together by Francis Bacon and his posse, and it included 7 books called the Apocrypha, which were in the Bible, in the original Hebrew and Greek translations. And it was removed because there's a lot of stuff in there that the church considered at the time to be heretical. Okay. And that would be mainly this. See this here? The Masonic hand. Now, what's really interesting, the root of Freemasonry is attributed to this guy, Tubal Cain. Okay, the word is thought to be derived from the Bible. It is a man's name. The marriage of Lamech and Zillah, 8 generations down. And you can see here in this Francis Bacon Bible, okay, we have Cain over here. We're going to take Cain, Enoch, Irad, Mahir. I'm going to go with Michael. I'm not sure. Lamech and Zillah and baboom, Tubal Cain. And the reason is because he was cruised out. He was a descendant of Cain. Cain became a city builder. Okay. So that's not necessarily why, but that is the origins, the first known origins of Freemasonry. 8 generations removed from Adam. So it goes back a ways. Now this goes all the way down. I mean, there's Magog right there. It is just crazy. It goes all the way down. There's Noah. This is so interesting, the 1611. You just don't get this in the other one. You don't. They just removed all this, which is terrible. And it shows, it's really cool, land of Canaan. And I hope I'm not going too fast because there's just so much to this. There's Lot, okay? And you can see the freehand masonry going through here. And it stays. Sometimes it goes away. There's Rebecca and Isaac, Esau and Jacob. It goes away for a few generations, but it reappears because it's in that family line. Here's Abraham, Job, all these books of the Bible right here. Just fascinating. Moab, both of his daughters, Freemasonry. Various kings as these crowns denote. Here's another one. There's Esau. There's King Saul. We eventually are going to come down to David. We're getting there. There's Reuben, Joel, the prophet, Simon. We are still in Genesis. Okay, we're moving up a little bit here. I'm glad they don't do all of these begats in the Bible. It would just be quite lengthy. Quite a line here. You will see that hidden hand pop up that Francis Bacon inserted. The hand of masonry. Boom and boom. There it is. It stays in the lines. Linearly speaking, you could just trace it all the way down. We are not taking that time because it would take too long. There's John the Baptist. Very interesting, right? Look at that. And we are getting there very close. Here's the masonry again. Nathaniel. Hope I'm not going too fast. You can get this. Just go to archive.org. Actually just enter 1611 King James Version and it will pop right up for you. It's not, like I said, none of this is hidden or secret. It's all out there. It's all fine. It's all fine. We're still traveling. I mean, there was a lot of begats here. Here's King David. Now we go 8 generations from David and we're going to come to Jesus. And what's really kind of disturbing what they did here is, there's Esther, they actually include Jesus in the Masonic line. You see the hands are popping up more and more. And we're still going down. We're still going down. The hands will reappear. Here's Saul. Okay. Yeah, man, there's a ton of them. This is a download, and it's a very tedious download. It's taken hours to get it all, but it's going to be worth it because you can download the whole thing. And this is just priceless stuff as far as I'm concerned. We are still traveling. Here's David, okay? Solomon, Pharaoh's daughter. Now, it's 8 generations from here that we actually get to Jesus, which is not too far. There we are, Christ. Look at this, Joseph and Mary. The handshake. Pretty amazing, huh? So over here, Freemasonry stretches back, as we know, 8 generations from Adam. So, of course, the Egyptians would find it. And Freemasonry is a big part of Egyptians. Now, the root of Freemasonry has to do with sacred geometry. Okay, you can see triangles here. And that's not the nice thing. The fact is that the reason that 33 was so important to them was because, here it is, the number 3 was venerated by the ancients and still is to this day. Because it's a triangle is the very first shape that can be made by drawing straight lines. Okay? And that is why the 33 is so valuable to them. This is the Kabbalah Tree of Life. Now, it's important to understand in Freemasonry in the 1800s, the Jewish, or the Hebrews, the Ashkenazi, to be accurate, kind of co-opted Freemasonry and slapped their own business on it. This is the Kabbalah Tree of Life, which is what this is, basically. And this is the serpent winding through it, the serpent of wisdom, so they say. So, this is obviously created by those in the Ashkenazi tribe, we'll say. Good is Jewishness, evil is Gentiles or Goyim. But if you really look at this, I'm not saying that Gentiles are all wonderful and Jews are all bad. That's not true. But the Ashkenazi that co-opted the Hebrew faith, they're just plain evil. There's no way to get around it. And they're the ones who are really running the show. So anti-Semitism, lack of fear of God, fear of men, lack of knowledge of God. Now listen, look at this, idolatry. That's definitely them. Paganism, sexual immorality. The Jews own the Ashkenazi, not the Jews. The Ashkenazi are the owners of, on top of central banks and corporations and most of the world. They also are the largest creators of pornography. Love of money. They own all the central banks. Uncleanliness, Satanic Kabbalah, the world's wisdom. Okay. This is a little more, seems to me, a little more in the Christian vein. Worship of God in spirit and truth, love of God, faithfulness, obedience, holiness, purity, cleanliness. It's kind of the opposite of the Ashkenazi Hebrews. Now that sacred geometry results in triptychs, they're called, and which is basically a triangle. And you see it here in Mexico, Egypt, Indonesia, India. And what is fascinating is, of course, Mexico and Egypt, as well as these also. But the point is that these pyramids were all over the world. So then, not the purpose of this video, but you get into the global influence of sacred geometry and Freemasonry, because Freemasonry is stonework, okay? What is this if not stone, right? This here, these three arches or doorways are critical to Freemasonry, and you see them here all the way back, and then here in newer times, Reims, Amiens, Lyon, Notre Dame. And then right here, this is at Yale, Skull and Bones. There's the three doors. Then Freemasonry and Shriners, which is more of an Oriental type situation of occultism. And it's alive and well right up to today. As you can see, look at the Apple App Store. Boom, boom. And then a Masonic square and compass. Facebook app. Look at that. Masonic Tubal Khan. See? Hasn't gone anywhere. This one here, everyone knows. Google Chrome. Divine King sign 666. And then Gmail, the Masonic emblem. And look at this. Freemasons, all these guys were George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Paul Revere. Benjamin Franklin was a 33rd degree Mason. I believe George Washington was as well. And you can see the pyramid, once again, with another pyramid up here, the all-seeing eye of Horus. And there's some really fascinating stuff here. This is George Washington's apron. Okay, this is what do they call him? The father of our country, something to that effect. And look at this. This is his apron, the all-seeing eye of Horus. There is an explanation for all of these, which we are not going into because it's very lengthy and kind of crazy. So Freemasonry exists right up to today. And that handshake, there it is. And let's see, what was... Okay, remember this. Remember this. Here's Colin Powell. Remember how he was like, oh, you all lied to me about the Iraq War. This is ridiculous. He was in the whole time. The whole time. Here's another picture of him. This time he's getting it back. Someone's giving it to him. And there's Tony Blair and the Pope, all Masons. This guy here, I swear, he looks like the devil. And you know, he was only in office for, 88 days, I think? And the real reason was because Prince Bernhard of the Netherlands vetoed him as being the Pope. He has that power because his lineage traces back to the last Holy Roman Emperor. So he has power of veto. And he vetoed this guy. I was like, no, you ain't going to work. Here we go with Mr. Blair shaking hands with Colonel Gaddafi, who is... I saw the video where they literally shoved a knife right up his ass. I was like one of the hardest things to watch. And his country, the reason he was taken out, thank you, Rothschilds, because he did not have a central bank. He was proposing a gold-backed currency for Africa, and that simply wouldn't do. Now, the CIA tried to kill him so many times, they failed every time. And then um, when he was going to break the petrodollar, which was his goal, Gaddafi's goal, and he had a great country going. I'm not going to say he was a prince or anything, or a wonderful dude, but everyone had a home, they had running water, electricity, free education, money. It was a well run country until it got destroyed. And we're back to the handshake. There's this dipwad who is rumored to be the son of Fidel Castro. I don't know if that's bull or not. We know this guy is, we know that guy. Do we? This is the woman who will not die, the head of the English royal family. They say the Windsors now, but she was actually Saxe Goldberg. It's a German name. Don't have it all. It's a three-part German name. And they changed it after World War One because they had gone to war with Germany, and the English people were like, "What's up with that? You're a German, and you're ruling us, and we just fought Germany." So they changed it to the Windsors to sound a little more English and proper. Now, people seem to have forgotten that 100 years later. This is Henry Kissinger. This is the architect of the Vietnam War. Has the ear of presidents since the 60s, and he's currently a professor at Harvard. I just can't believe he walks around and no one's ventilated that skull of his, but they haven't. The illegal we do immediately. The unconstitutional takes a little longer. What a prince. Here's another good one from him. And this is right up to today. This is in 2009, on my son's birthday, actually. Once the herd accepts mandatory vaccinations, it's game over. They will accept anything, forcible blood or organ donation, all for the greater good. For the greater good. What a guy. What a guy. This is back to the usurpation of the Freemasons by the Ashkenazi and the Tree of Life that we'd shown earlier. And the reason this is here is to show you that it is a global thing, okay? See these? Vishahuda. I can't say these names very well, and I'm not even going to try, but obviously they're Hindi, okay? You can see the chakras, that's all Hindi type stuff. And here it is, all over the world. The Kabbalah. Look at this. Elohim, Jehovah, Saturn. This is Saturn right here, folks. This is the stuff that they believe in. Serious, serious music. Where do you think that came from? Pretty crazy. You can see it all right here. Okay. Now we're into medical logos and just how evil they are. This is the Eye of Horus right here, guys. Plain and simple. And this is the American Medical Association sign, the twin snakes and the wings of, I don't know if it's a phoenix. Tough to tell. Now this is about the Star of Israel, which is also with the Rothschilds. The first Rothschild to become known, to found the Rothschild dynasty, was Mayer Amschel Bauer. He was not Mayer Amschel Rothschild, as they would have you believe. Okay, that is not the way it was. And it's a six-pointed star, leaves a hexagram, and six triangles, 666. Devil worshippers from the get-go. This is the Rothschild family crest, the original one. And then the phoenix rising from the ashes. You can see all these various countries all have the same basic sign. It just goes on and on and on. And of course, the seal of the United States, we are no different. And look at this. How far have we come or not from um, Egyptians? Look at this. Look at the difference there. Is there a difference? Not so much. Pretty incredible. This is the six-pointed star, okay? Just to give you an idea on this deal. This is on the back of our dollar bill. And this was not by accident. These people designed this with that in mind. So that should kind of be a disturbing thing. I hope this video illustrates how pervasive the influence of Freemasonry has been upon our country and upon history, going all the way back to, well, it goes much, much further back, but we're just talking about the Bible here, just the basic Bible, going all the way up to Adam and Eve and them writing it in. How crazy is that? Quite a deal, quite a deal. Look at this. Look at that. There's the bird, there's the triangle. Of course, this is Francis Bacon's work, so he wanted to insert Freemasonry as much as possible. Look at all this. In the Bible. That's an out and out pyramid. Really amazing. Really, truly amazing. This is probably has to do with Baal. Baal. They call him Baal or Baal. To the most high and mighty Prince James, by the grace of God, King of Great Britain, France, Ireland, and defender of the faith. Okay, so James was James the First of the Stuart line, who was deposed down the road. But the reason that he wanted this Bible rewritten was so that he can include the divine right of kings into the Bible. So what they want, by they, I mean the powers that be to this very day, they want a return to, they don't want a new world order. What they want is a return to the old world order prior to the Magna Carta in the 1200s. And they will do anything they can. They will lie to all of us to get there. And here's just a good example. COVID-19, with it, pardon me, hit the stage, December of 2019? December of 2019. Look at this. This is HR 748, U.S. Congress, .gov, blah, blah, blah. 1/24/2019. Almost a year before COVID was even supposed to be existing, and here they are. And I wish I could show you this to you, but there are 178 matches for COVID, Control F. There's the first one. Employee retention credit for employers subject to closure due to COVID-19. Now, how would they know that? Look at all this. Every purple one. How would they know about COVID-19 writing a bill for it that did pass, by the way, almost a year before it was ever thought to exist? Came from a bat, right? It is just insane. For purposes of this subparagraph, an impacted borrower is presumed to have been adversely impacted by COVID-19. Isn't that something, folks? And what did COVID-19 give us? Pandemic babies. This is the direction. This kid's like an hour old. This kid's like an hour old. This kid he's like literally just still wet with goo from mama. And he's crawling around. That freak you out? This kid's like 2 months walking, right? Do human babies do that? No, I don't think so. So really, are these humans, I guess, is a real question here. I mean, are they humans? I don't know. These black eyes are weird. The fact that they can move around so much. It's yet to be seen the level of their intelligence. We don't know. I suspect they're really not going to be that intelligent. I think that they're going to be strong and agile. I mean, these are like designer drugs, except they're designer humans. So they have made these next species to fit into the plan that they have in mind, which is for them to rule over the few that are left. And this would be some of the few that are left. So it is not boding well. Let's get into causes of death, okay? This, cancer, 598,932. And look at this, COVID-19. They say it's the fourth leading cause of death. Never existed, never existed. Never existed in 2019, even though they had a bill written in January of 2019. And then in 2020, they actually say 345,000 people died. Isn't that crazy? Now look at this. This is from 2020. And if we go all the way down to number 16, cancer and other malignant tumors, 72,000, okay, per population, 83.6. This doesn't give a per pop. I've noticed also in researching this that what they provide or make easily, readily available in this day and age is much, much harder to get to than it was back then. Oh, these are health ministers. Everything is inverted. The reason I have this here. Health minister, this fat, disgusting wildebeest Jabba the Hutt thing. This guy looks like he's a step away from a heart attack. This woman, I mean, she looks like a walking corpse. I mean, what? It is just unreal. Oh, yes, this is the Saxe Coburg Gotha, or Saxe Coburg Gotha. That's the House of Windsor before 1917. Glad I found that to back it up. And I'm going to wrap it up with that because I could go on, but really, what's the point? We'll just kind of leave it there, and we'll leave it right there.